Hello, everybody. I'm your host, BRL XE 1984. With me is BRL Phantom as we get started here with Tier 1 at the Hungaroring. It is a pleasure to have all of you with us today. How are you, Mr. BRL Phantom?
Pretty good. A little exhausted after the interesting Grand Prix for Tier 2, but should be interesting seeing how Tier 1 goes.
That is true. We have 14 drivers on the grid. The Hungaroring is one of those weird tracks where it can play to your favorites, or it could play to your enemies with tire strategy as we go through. As we see, right along with Neymar here in the Haas, he's on the soft tire compound, which it is possible to do a soft hard, but I believe the optimal strategy is a medium to hard compound. It does look. Oh, what? Wow! As DRC Jared has crashed, and we see one of the alphas. Looks like Chandler said he reset to the track. So that's definitely going to be something that the stewards are going to look at here, even in qualifying. Um, as we get going, starting to see that as we have BRL Williams, he did a 15.5 here. He's on. He did a 15.5. He is on soft tires. Perron needed a 15.7. He is on soft tires. Neymar, of course, he did a 17.4. He's on soft tires. So it looks like it's starting to may rain in the in the future, or it's maybe rain on the race. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna go with that's gonna be overcast, or either clear skies for the entirety of the race.
And that's a very strong possibility. I do know the Hungaroring does like to toss up the weather for the Tier 1 PC that we had. It did jump around. It was sunny, and then it literally looked like it was going to rain as BRL Williams sets a new pole time of a 15.2 as we're still waiting for drivers like Ham Newton, Boss Formula, B-Dunk, Deer Hunter put in their times, even Mean Fern. This track is very time penalty sensitive. So a lot of these, as I pull up the mini map here, it shows that Mean Fern has already invalidated his lap here at the Hungaroring. So definitely have to keep following people. Deer Hunter, he's coming around here on the last corner. See what he can do. GSR X, he's retired from the session. Looks like it's on track after turn 1 as Deer Hunter sets a 15.9, looking very racy, trying to catch up to his teammate there that's sitting on provisional pole. Down by B-Dunk, where's B-Dunk? He's in Sector 2, about to start Sector 3. He's got 2 cars ahead of him. Are they going to move out of his way? Oh, it looks like he's going to have to bail out of it. Those 2 drivers are kind of bunching up there. That's the hard thing for these drivers here at the Hungaroring. There's really not a whole lot of places to move over, and a lot of the places to move over, you've already ruined a lap here for these drivers. We're going to ride along with New Zealand Ryan, the championship leader for Tier 1, as he's going into Sector 1. He's looking very racy with the sauce. So we have a Haas that has spun. It's going to be Neymar. Looks like he must have caught a little bit of the curve of the hairpin. And Ryan do as we ride along with him. Purple Sector 2. He may throw this car up on pole. Ooh, locks it up just a little bit through the first part of the hairpin. Nice and smooth. Ooh, invalidates it. Would have been a 15-1. That would have put us. You would have been 1/10 faster than BRL Williams. These are some of the issues that a lot of the drivers are facing. Track conditions. With Hoopalicious coming through. What was he able to do? He puts it 13-3. Okay, that's coming out and saying, all right. Does it look like this? You can see the sun is starting to come out. Pull up the tires for everybody. Goes through. Who else do we have? Edunk said it's a 133.9, but we know that his lap was invalidated on the mediums. He's still sitting in the pits. The question is who's gonna challenge Hoopalicious with that 13-3? I believe the world record is definitely a low 13. Don't know yet if they've been able to get into the 12s yet for the world records and the time trials and that, but I do know 13s and really low 13s and really possibly high 12s is what the record is supposed to be. See Chandler, he invalidated. Os Formula invalidated, so we got a lot of drivers at the bottom of the grid that just invalidate. Meadford, 3-lap-old Softs, still trying to set a time. They're at the bottom of the order. Where's him? Does he invalidate? Oh wow, he really invalidated that. Neymar retired. GSR Axe has retired. So any predictions, BRL fans, with the drivers up in the front, as it looks like Os Formula has gone purple in Sector 1 for his time?
It's definitely going to be interesting. I have to give it to Hoop here already, setting the easy 13-3. First one to get on a board, because I know this track is pretty penalty heavy, especially during qualifying.
And that's very true, and I'm very surprised with, I understand that these drivers are extremely talented and extremely fast as Os Formula dives back into the pits. I'm very, as we jump on with Ham Newton and he has invalidated his lap on the soft compound tires, I'm surprised that not a whole lot of drivers like you usually see in like tier 2, 3, or even 5, where you'll see drivers where they'll stick to the optimal tire strategy, while tier 1 you're seeing a lot more drivers just throw out the soft tire strategy. Now, whether or not that's for them to test it, like just to put a banker in, if that's the case, then what happens if you go out there and all of a sudden your soft tire is your fastest tire strategy, and that, you kind of get, stuck there due to the invalidation of laps and that. Definitely be interested to see how much of that is actually going to mess up some of these drivers before the start of the races. We see the 9 through 14 of the drivers that have yet to set a lap all jump right onto medium tires.
And I do believe Deer Hunter, next one to cross the line, just finding the last corner, no ERS, and crosses the line, sets him to P3, 15-4.
Gonna bring him closer to his teammate BRL Williams. I was originally riding along with Master Berserk. He did set a purple Sector 1 on the medium tires as he's coming through for Sector 2, utilizing all the curves with his Ferrari. What can he do? Sector 3 it's an interesting sector. It's not a very long sector. It's very short, but it's one of those technical ones where you have to land it right and you can lose so much time there. Last corner, what can he do? DRS is open. Wow, 14.998 on the mediums for Master Berserk in that Ferrari. definitely showing that there's a lot of pace in there. We're going to jump aboard. Here goes New Zealand. Ryan into turn 1. Can the championship leader do? We got 5 minutes and 31 seconds to play. Here he goes. Now that hairpin there that New Zealand Ryan's going through is a very tricky hairpin. If you get too close to it and you run that curve, it is going to make you spin. It's going to send you. So that's definitely going to be interesting to see who's going to try to get close to that curve during the races to actually use it as a defense. You know, as Ryan sets purple sector 2.
B-Dunk up to P4 with the 1:15.1, also on the mediums as well.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting with those 4-lap old old medium tires. Yes, the medium tires can stretch it out, but how much is New Zealand Ryan sets up 14.2, less than a second behind Hoopalicious on those soft tire compounds. So definitely interesting to see the pace that New Zealand Ryan has put down. Go through Pirandi. He's on those soft tire, those medium tire compounds as he's going through sector 3. Light lock up there with him as he's coming through. See what he can do. Utilizing all the track, everything. He slots into a 14.616 on the medium compound. So Hoopalicious is definitely going to have to pull something out of the bag here to make a big stretch here, or else he's going to get swamped by medium tire drivers. And I mean, with how fast the track is evolving, right along with Meanford, he's the only other driver that has yet to set a time that is actually on a fast lap in the AlphaTauri. What can he do? Sector 2. Purple sector 2. Light lockup. He's rocking my number. He's got to put it up there in the top 5. If he doesn't, I'll be holding a judgment. Here he goes. DRS open. Slots him in 8th with a 15.5 on the mediums. So hopefully those tires can bring him in. Jumping along with Chandler Seda. He is on the medium tires as he's coming through sector 2. Can he split Ryan and Pirandi? It looks like Ryan has set the softs on. He's sitting in the pits, possibly looking to run that Chandler goes wide and validates his lap. Hopefully he has enough fuel to do another fast lap after this. Let's see, where's Ham? Ham is in turn 1 as he's coming down. Definitely have to keep an eye on him as there's 2 minutes to play. Chandler is dove into the pit, so it looks like Chandler is going to be possibly calling. He doesn't have enough fuel to do another lap. Grab board. There's Mean Fern. He is not diving into the pits. Master Berserk has retired. Here goes Fern. What can he do? Does he improve? No, he does not improve. Both Williams are out on a fast. They're out on their out lap. Here goes Pirandi with 1 minute 18 to play. Chandler is retired. Pirandi slots himself up to second with a 1:14.203. Both Racing Points are out on their fast lap as they go through. Let's see where we have Hoops on his outlap. He should be starting it. B-Dunk is on his out lap. B-Dunk giving himself some space there on the soft compound tires. Lucas started his fast lap. He's going into turn 1. This is turning out to be a very interesting qualifying here towards the end of the session with 20 seconds left to play. A lot of these drivers really not knowing what they want to set. As Lindbergh dives into the pits, New Zealand Ryan should be coming up to the last hairpin. He starts on the main straight. Here goes the Racing Point duo. What does Deer Hunter have? He's ahead of his teammate here at the last corner. DRS's open time has expired. Deer Hunter does not improve. Williams, does he improve? He does. He leapfrogs Master Berserk. He jumped down. Canham move himself up higher from the 123.664. Last corner, here he goes. He does. He slots himself 6th. Lost formula. Where are you at? Slots himself 6th ahead of Ham Newton. Let's see what else we've got. Where are we at? We have Hoopalicious. He's next. He's on the soft tires. He's going very slow. Is he going to try to set a fast lap? Nope, he dives into the pits. The B-Donkey's coming through. He invalidated. Who's next? New Zealand Ryan. Is he going to snatch pole or is he going to dive into the pits? He is going to try to snatch pole. Around the bend he goes.
Oh, and he backs out.
Up.
He was 8/10 up too.
All the drivers are complete with their fast laps. I mean, wow. Well, 8/10 up, that would have put him right behind Hoop. So he probably backed out because of that. You know, he probably wouldn't have gotten Hoop. What an interesting qualifying session we had. What an interesting tire choice. Definitely interesting to see what the other drivers here that did not set a time going to do. Are they going to do the hard strat? You know, the hard to soft and catch everybody off guard at the end, depending on a safety car. So we have Hoopalicious sets the car on pole for Red Bull Racing with a 113.3. Perandi with a 114.2. New Zealand Ryan with a 114.2. BRL Williams with a 114.6. Master Berserk with a 114.6. Oz Formula with a 114.7. Ham 114.7. B-Dunk 15.1. Deer Hunter 15.3. Mean Fern 15.4. Neymar 17.4. And Jared Chandler and Axe not setting a lap time. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, fan? I mean, you have 2 drivers on the softs, and every single other driver is on the medium tire.
I mean, definitely there's only 2 options for those guys on the softs, and I know they're not going to want to do the soft, medium unless there's an early safety car. But I have a feeling they're going to try to do the softs to hards and just stretch the hards at the end. That's really the only option that they have. If all the other guys who are starting on mediums just do a medium to hard.
And that's very true. I mean, it's, you know what I mean? I really want to see some of the drivers that are outside the top 10 to do that hard soft strategy and take the risk and then send it that way. But at the same time, who is, I mean, if there's a safety car, you know, I mean, your higher tires, you're pretty much shot. You know what I mean? Like, it'll help people out like Hoopalicious where, you know what I mean, they get that free pit stop to change over. So that will be definitely a benefit for them. But, I mean, hopefully it's a super clean race for all the drivers and there is no safety car. But with the Hungaroring, anything can happen. As we get closer to starting up, as we see the lights. And here's the pit strategy. 1 stop is a soft to hard. 2 stop, soft, medium. Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of those interesting races. Who is your prediction on drivers to win?
Well, I'm going to kind of give it off to our guy in P2 for Rondi, as he does have those mediums. to at least kind of bat off against, but he is going to have to battle New Zealand Ryan, which is right behind him.
And the driver and the people in the chat, please give us your prediction on who do you think is going to win this race for early predictions, and we will definitely keep an eye on them and who your favorite drivers are. So we pull up the tire choice. 2 drivers have decided to do the hard tire strat. Chandler Setta and GSR Axe. Hoopalicious being the only soft tire driver, and the rest of the field fielding mediums. Neymar and Jared is going to have the benefits of being on the freshest medium tires that are out on the track. I do know some of the drivers in qualifying, they put at least 3 or 4 laps on those medium tires, and you're talking at the start of the race, full fuel loads, full wear. How much is that going to play into a factor here as we go through the Hungaroring? Looks like Hoopalicious backing up the whole field, just kind of taking his time, really no rush. Kind of makes you wonder how much is he scrubbing on those soft tires, because I believe it's only like 5 laps you will get out of those soft tires, so he's really going to have to run that and overtake and enrich and try to do as much as he can to pull away. As we go through here, as we wait for the drivers to line up on the grid. I do believe it is a dry race. I have yet to get a message about that. Have you received a message, Dana, from the drivers?
I haven't, but I'm going to assume it's just a dry race.
There we go, waiting for the last car to line up to the grid. We get started for BRL Tier 1 at the Hungaroring. Here we go, wait for the 5 lights. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lights. And we are off. I will say we have a lot of smoke coming up. Here we go. Looks like there's a bunch of wing damage. Hoopalicious defending against Pirandi, forcing him down on the inside. Hoopalicious makes it around. Looks like he goes a little deep as Pirandi tries the inside move on the downhill. Here they go. New Zealand Ryan looking very smooth. He's trying the outside. Pirandi taking the long way around. He's losing a little bit. Locks up. There goes New Zealand Ryan side by side on the downhill piece as they come up to this fast left-hand corner. Hoopalicious doing everything he can to pull away from these drivers as we go through Pirandi, losing just a little bit to New Zealand Ryan, as we see Oz Formula back there looking at trying to take on BRL Williams as they go through. Neymar up to 6th place. We'll see if Case of Codemasters resorts their grid as they go through. If not, he made an amazing start there. BRL Neymar, as we have the pit stop strategy pop up again. These drivers nose to tail all the way through. Chandler Setta from 13th up to 11th. Beaton being the biggest loser here, falling back very far. Same with Deer Hunter. There's a little bit of an issue as they were going through. Hoopalicious pulling out all the stops. He is now 1.3 seconds away from Pirandi. He is pushing as hard as he possibly can. This may be a benefit to him as Beaton dives into the pits. Looks like he has wing damage. Yeah, lost a side end plate here. He's going back onto the hard compound tires. So we see Hoop putting the purple sector 1 again as they are pushing New Zealand Ryan 4/10 back from Pirandi as they go through here in sector 1. A little bit of a nice mix-up, nice change compared to what we thought we were going to see here at the start of the race for these drivers. Everybody's nose and tail. Not a whole lot of people are battling it out.
One person that has gained a whole bunch of places at the start is Beryl Neymar, who's right on back of Oz Formula.
Now, before the race, Neymar had stated he did a race here prior to this race, so I told him that there should be some early predictions of him actually doing really good. I said, hey, you know, you've raced the whole track. Hopefully you can throw down with everybody and show a good performance. And it looks like he is. Looks like he's definitely, you know, showcasing a lot of speed here. As Pirani is now falling back to 2.2 seconds to Hoopalicious with New Zealand Ryan all over him, 3/10. DRL Williams is still a 6/10 back from him. So they still have, I think, one more lap of them. DRS is open for them. If they come through as we go down the grid, position changes. Yeah, Master Berserk falling down 3. Definitely keep an eye on him and see how much he can move up in this race. No, I was a little worried about Hoopalicious' strategy of starting on those soft compound tires, but it seems like it's helping him out a lot with that now that he stretched it out to a 3-second gap. Here going into lap 4, which is definitely, you know, helping him out as Jared dives into the pits. Does this man have wing damage? Let's see what happens. Yeah, he lost a little bit of an end plate. He's going to the mediums. As Ian Newton makes it past David, they're going battling side by side. Downhill left. Both drivers being respectful, giving each other the space. Here they go. Neymar definitely holding it back. That's going to separate them from Boss Formula a little bit by 1.4 seconds. This is going to give Boss Formula a little bit of a breather, but that's also going to drop them back into Master Berserk. A driver who had started higher than them because he is chasing them down the best that he can do here on those medium tires. Looks like Ham Newton's definitely going to have... We lost the hose. Chandler Seta has left the session. We can send him an invite, BRO Phantom. That'd be wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. As we go back here, Pirani now 3 seconds back from Hoopalicious. Can he regain the pace? We do know by that 6 or 7, it will probably that time will probably drop. But here is New Zealand Ryan, 2/10 back from Pirani, putting the pressure. The championship leader, showing why he's the championship leader, forcing Pirani into a mistake. Pirani locks it up on the downhill. Here comes BRL Williams. He is all over the back of New Zealand Ryan. New Zealand Ryan's going to have to do everything he can to defend the Renault boys, sitting 2 and 5 as they come through here. Into sector 2 as they go through as CSRX gets a 3-second time penalty. Deer Hunter 1/10 behind Chandler Seta. Chandler Seta is going to have to regroup here in the race. See what he can do here. Now with Pirani having to defend against New Zealand Ryan, this is helping Hoopalicious extend that gap a little bit. Now Galino's 3.3. We had a little bit of a glitch where it timed out the timing, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on all of that. Everybody locking up in that last hairpin, pushing every inch possible as they go through. Still 3 seconds. Looks like the time is starting to trickle down. New Zealand Ryan down on the inside of Pirani. Using all the curve. Cannot make it stick. Can he get a run on it? Pirani defends on the inside. Ryan outside. Ryan's going the long way. Light lock up on both. New Zealand Ryan makes it stick on Pirani. Now, following right behind him is BRL Williams. Can BRL Williams make the move? As now New Zealand Ryan has cut that gap from Hoopalicious down to 2.6 seconds. Ham Newton gets a 3-second time penalty. It's definitely a very strong battle between 2 and 4. All the drivers within a second of each other as they race through sector 2 here, with Oz Formula kind of in his own little race, about a second back from BRL Williams, BRL Neymar, and all the way from 6th to 9th. They are in a very tight battle there with their little group pack, with Deer Hunter out on his own and GSRX out on his own, Jared out on his own. Jared having beat on chasing him down to see what happens there. They go through. Now, he's down 2 seconds compared to New Zealand Ryan. The question is, how much longer is Hoopalicious going to stretch out those soft compound tires, Phantom?
I'd only say a few more laps, so those softs definitely do start giving out. I know some drivers did stretch about 9-10 laps at most.
And that's definitely going to be something interesting to see with how they race as we go through. I'm going to have to say Hoopalicious is definitely going to need to dive into the pits. I mean, he's already down 1.3 seconds. And it's just falling. As Pirandi has lost a lot of time to New Zealand Ryan. And now BRL Williams is all over the back of Pirandi here, 210. Pirandi's definitely... maybe Pirandi ate too much of his tires up there earlier in the beginning of the race, and as Pirandi gets a 3-second time penalty in his Renault, he's just locking up almost every corner there, trying to fight, and he's gonna get swamped here. Now that Oz Formula is in, his Hoopalicious dives in the pits. Down the grid as we see ERS Ham Newton. He's taking a look at Neymar and what he's going to do. Hoopalicious is on those hard compound tires. He's coming out in 11th, so hopefully he's able to do something and ring something in up the grid and up the order here. Still all over the back of Pirandi. Like there's a huge difference in changing, but BRL Neymar getting the big mover at the start of the race here, sitting 5th right now, holding off ERS Ham Newton. We see Neymar, as we see Ham Newton locking up just a little bit, trying to chase Neymar here, and Master Berserk trying to figure something out. That's the interesting thing with this track, Phantom, and I'm sure you can agree with how the Hungaroring is. It is really tricky to make any form of movement as we see Neymar swerving a little bit down the back straight. I mean, there's really no places to make a move as we see Sam sending it up on the inside. They are battling it up again. Looks like Neymar does not want to be part of the overtake of the weak crowd again.
Yeah, definitely going on, at least overtaking around here. It's almost like the track at Netherlands, too. Like, turn 1 is really the only option, but for here, you can make a move into turn 4, but you really got to trust the other driver that they're going to back out. Or either they're going to give you at least space, too, going into turn 4, because the only realistic spot is definitely going into turn 1 with that DRS.
Very true, and I would have to say is the second to last corner there. When you come out of that fast right, I mean, you got that little mini straight. Sometimes you can get an amazing run on a driver there. And yeah, I mean, you can send it there, but you have to be very careful. Definitely, how the drivers are going to handle it out. As we see, Pirandi is now fallen from New Zealand Ryan with 2.3 seconds. So he must have chewed up his tires a great deal there on those medium compound and really, lost a lot of time, which is very astonishing. I thought maybe, the minute, New Zealand Ryan went by, you'd be able to check up right and down. Does not look like this. Pirandi gets another 3-second time penalty. And that's something we talked about in qualifying, is how are these drivers going to handle time penalties? As right now, with the way Pirandi's going, I've already seen him get another 3-second time penalty prior to the beginning of the race. that 6 seconds, and just based off that and no other driver, he's looking to go from second all the way down to 6th or 7th if they were to finish in this order, which is, you know, definitely a big hit in that championship battle that Brandi has with New Zealand Ryan. Now, as we see the drivers go through here, we're starting to see a lot of gaps start to form. BRL, you got Brandi 2 through 4 battling it out. With BRL Williams looking up on the inside of Brandi, can he make it stick? Both drivers a light tap here, you know, but both drivers being very, you know, respectful on the track as they go through. You can tell Williams switch back. Here they go. Ooh. That was some close, tight battle there between and BRL Williams, and that's going to slot Haas Formula in there, in that Renault with the battle. Both Renault drivers, can they make something work out and then pull away? And that's another thing, you know, is the curbs here. You know, a lot of tracks, you can utilize a lot of the curbs, you know, when you race, you know, the tracks that you're at. You know, I know sometimes in, at Britain you can utilize a lot of the tracks, but here, you know, at the Hungaroring, a lot of the curbing is not very helpful for you here as you race around this track. I'm sure you can agree, Phantom.
Oh, I totally can't agree. Pretty much almost all of the curbing around here, like I know turn 4, all of sector 2 curbs, those are definitely ones you don't want to really be using, except for maybe the exit of, I believe it's turn 11, the high-speed right-hander.
That is very true. As we see Pirani, he dove into the pits. He's going for the early pit strategy. He's going to the hard compound tires, possibly looking to undercut all the rest of the drivers here. I do know you can take the mediums out pretty far, at least out to 14 to 15, if you're lucky. Shout out to SF1 Rhodes. He had stretched the medium tires, I believe, out to 24 laps in the realistic league. So it is possible. It just takes a long time and a lot of not pushing. So, you know, I mean, I don't think we'll ever see a driver here in Tier 1 really try to stretch the tires out that far. But at the same time, you never know with the way these races turn out with safety cars, penalties, and things like that. Sam Newton locks up just a little bit, trying to still chase Neymar down. As Neymar, he dives into the pits. He's most likely going to the hard compound tires. So keep an eye on that. Sam Newton slots himself to the work now as he's pushing. Fern being able to work his way up on those medium tires. He's chasing everybody down. It's GSR X sitting 9th all over the back of Ferrari. Those 12-lap old hard compound tires. Looks like he's going to check up right behind Pirani and utilize him to go push. But, you know, New Zealand Ryan, when he got past Pirani, he was able to just push and extend such a massive gap to the other drivers. Now it's still 3.2 seconds to BRL Williams, and he really hasn't extended that gap like we thought he was going to the minute he got past Pirani. Push, so definitely keep an eye on this race develop. Hoopalicious, the main going from soft to hard compound tires. He is now up to 7th, and he is 3 turns behind Deer Hunter. So we ride along board with him. Deer Hunter on those 12-lap old medium compound tires. The question is, how long is Deer Hunter going to stay out on those mediums? And when is Hoopalicious going to try to set up his move, as Chandler said, he gets a 3-second time? This is open. Here goes Hoop down on the inside of Deer Hunter. Giving him the old elbows as he goes into turn 1. So what's your thoughts so far of this race as it develops?
As of now, it's almost looked similar to how Tier 2 was, at least before everyone started pitting. Because provisionally it was our P1 leader kind of like leading it off, and then the top 3 guys from there, from P2 to P4, were kind of in their own bubble. And then pretty much most of the midfield from P5 to P9 were in their bubble. And that same thing happened in Tier 2 just earlier today.
Yeah, as we right along board with BRL Neymar, Hamilton was able to pull the overcut on BRL Neymar. As we see New Zealand Ryan dives into the pits. Where is that going to slot him in with Hoopalicious? Hoopalicious coming around the last corner on the hard compound tires. Here he goes. New Zealand Ryan is coming down towards the end of the pit straight. He comes out. Hoop gets him. Hoop gets him. Wow, amazing. Now the question is Hoop, the 6-lap old hard compound tires, is gonna have to push, and New Zealand Ryan is definitely gonna be pushing the minute he comes out of that pit straight. As they go through, as we start to see everybody form in the battle for 8th place, all between 8th, 9th, and 10th is all within a second of each other as they go through. Esther was looking the tail end, and Fern definitely chasing them down. Earl Williams and Oz Formula on those medium compound tires as they are trying to stress them out as much as they can. They're 14 laps in those tires. I and see where they slot themselves in. Pirani was in that battle with them. Pirani is now 2.5 seconds, so he's able to cut down a little bit of that gap that he had in New Zealand Ryan from the beginning of the race. Doesn't seem like Neymar's really making a huge amount of time on Eurus Ham Newton as they come along. Ham Newton's been able to keep him at bay about 8/10, not a whole lot. Us Formula dives into the pits. Let's see where he's going. He's out right behind his teammate, 4 and 5, which is going to be really good. BRL Williams able to stretch his now gap between Delicious to a 15-3 on those medium compound tires. Neymar 4/10, New Zealand Ryan 4/10 back from Hoopalicious. He's possibly, as a driver of New Zealand Ryan, of course you always want to get past some of these drivers to extend your gap and extend your lead. But if you know that you have 7 lap, you kind of just sit there for a little bit, kind of let him chew his tires up, try to make him want to push and make him force himself into a maneuver? Or do you as a driver usually just I'm going to go for it and just try to get past. I don't want to sit there and, get the dirty air and sit right there.
Yeah, if I was in a hoop spot, I'd definitely be trying to hold off New Zealand Ryan as much as I can. Especially probably burning a lot more ERS just to stay ahead of him going into this turn, overtaking position right up here.
Because as we see, New Zealand Ryan has 67% ERS, and Hoop is down to 32%. He is trying everything possible that he can to keep New Zealand Ryan at bay, which is definitely going to be hard considering the fact that he is the reigning champion of Tier 1 with the chances of winning another championship here in Tier 1, and he's just, I don't know how he does it, but he is just flying. As he dropped down the grid here, his teammate DRC Jared sitting 6 on those tires. He clearly looks like he is doing a two-step. His GSR Axe 16-lap old hard compound tires in 7th. Definitely moving up. He started last. BRL Williams, he has dove into the pit. Definitely see where he's going to fall out. Did Oz Formula get the jump on him? go. We're going to rattle on board with Oss Formula as he comes to the last corner. Williams is moving down the pit straight. Looks like Williams got Oss Formula, which is very good, very strong there in the for that overcut strategy and defending against. Because usually you would think Oss Formula and Ferrari would check up right behind each other and push as much as possible as they can, and go. We're definitely gonna see where is the closest battle other than New Zealand Ryan and Hupalicious, Master Berserk, and Neymar. Neymar's fallen down 2.3 seconds to Ham Newton as we see Master Berserk waiting for gets a 3-second time. He is pushing extremely hard to catch Master Berserk, try to make something happen. I give a lot of credit to Chandler Seta here in this race, a driver who disconnected and fell from 11th all the way to last with like almost no chances of ever trying to catch back up to the field. And he's only 12.9 seconds back from 13th with that issue, and he is pushing like crazy. And I give him a lot of props too. A lot of drivers, are falling back that far. I mean, it's almost, ooh, as Neymar loses the back end, there goes Master Berserk. Can Meanfern make a move on Neymar? Here goes, do it for the owners, Meanfern, make the move. Does not look like Meanfern is going to make anything happen as GSR Axe dives in the pits for his medium tires. Go through. I mean, the race has definitely turned into a very, it's the problem with the Hungaroring because there's not a whole lot of places to pass. You do get a lot of these dead spots where you get these packs and they just bundle in, and there's nothing that happens, and there's nothing that happens. And you can see on the map, 1 and 2 packed up, 2 and 3 and 4 packed up, and then you come all the way down here with the closest battle that we've got, which is Master Berserk, BRL, Neymar, and Meanfern. They're all packed in within a second of each other as we start to see Williams. He's 8/10ths back from Pirani. So look, it's kind of interesting. It's almost like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 almost have the same issue where each driver that they're battling has 6 lap-owned hard tires. So it's definitely going to be one of those things that we're going to have to pay attention to. And the drivers and the viewers that are watching the stream, please give a shout out to a driver that you may have. We'll definitely keep an eye on the chat there and who your prediction who's going to win this race. Slot up here and watch. New Zealand Ryan and Hupalicious battle it out here and see, will New Zealand Ryan make a move? He seems to really be pushing Hupalicious to the edge as we have a yellow sector. Looks like B-Dunk. What happened to B-Dunk? Did he break a move? Looks like he just spun and lost it a little bit. That's going to help Chandler reel him in here, so there is hopes for Chandler to not have to finish last. We'll definitely have to keep doing damage for Chandler. BRL Williams now a 10th back. He's looking very audacious to try that maneuver all over the back of Pirani. Ooh, Williams loses it just a little bit. It could have spelled disasters. GSR X, that's a fast lap at a 17.1. B-Dunk has retired from the session. And that's now going to slot Chandler up to 13th place. Thank you, B-Dunk, for retiring in the pits. Go through New Zealand Ryan. Got past Hupalicious. I apologize for those who must be wanting to see that. question is how much faster is Pirani going to be to try to chase down Hoopalicious? And BRL Williams falling back, so now that the grid is starting to equalize itself out, it's interesting. Almost like New Zealand Ryan is I'm just going to sit back, wait till you make a mistake, and then the minute I see it, I'm going to punch it, and hope to do what I can. As we still the yellow sector one. Here's Jared, he's falling back to but is Deer Hunter going to get him coming down the straight? Does look like it. GSRX, where's GSRX going to be? Nope, he's going to have to slot right behind the Mercedes. Chandler's going to be diving into the pits for his last pit through the race here. I'm guessing he will be going to medium compound tires, and he is. See what Hoopalicious can do. Can he pull away from Pirani? BRL Williams is less than that gap between Pirani for about a second as they come through. Pirani has 6 seconds worth of time penalties. And could you possibly see who else has time penalties that are out in there in the top 5?
I for sure can do, because I know that's one thing that definitely keeps this race, especially on the end, pretty spicy.
We see here, BRL Williams 6 tenths back from Pirani. Something happened with Pirani. Williams is catching him very fast. Can Pirani fight off BRL Williams in this race? Pirani looked very fast. Yellow sector 1. Looks like Deer Hunter. What happened to Deer? He
looks
lost
like
it.
Jared and I was on board checking penalties and just happened to be on board Jared. It looks like him and Deer Hunter were just battling out of T1 going to T2. Just kind of a little squeeze into the grass.
Go through here. BRL Williams now 4 tenths back from Pirani. Can Pirani do anything? Welcome to the 20 viewers that are watching the race. Thank you for watching. Definitely, if you like what you see, definitely click the follow button. As we see BRL Williams down on the inside of Pirani. Can Pirani take the fight back to BRL Williams? Looks like Williams is able to make it through. Pirani definitely, he hasn't fallen back a whole lot, just about 5 tenths. Hoopalicious has been able to keep it within 7 tenths of New Zealand Ryan, which is astonishing to be affecting the race. As Schiller said, it gets another 3-second time penalty. Pirani catching a little bit of grass.
After checking the penalty situation for the top 5, both New Zealand Ryan and Hoopalicious only have 2 warnings, while Pirani and BRL Williams have 1 time penalty and multiple warnings.
So this is definitely going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the back one. His question is, will Williams get another time penalty, or will Pirani get a time penalty? And another mess up the order.
And the other question is, I know Oz Formula only has 1 penalty, so he could even mix up all 3 of those.
Yes, he could, if we will definitely keep it in. And now Oz Formula has fallen back 3 seconds to Pirani and Williams. And if he keeps falling back, this may not help him in that time penalty race. Here in this battle of the Hungaroring, as we see Hoopalicious running a lot of Kirby. As Pirani gets a 3-second time penalty, as we talk about, as he sets purple sector 1, he sets a 3-second time penalty, which is clearly not going to help him out at all in this race. DRC Jared gets a 3-second time penalty. Let's see, what do we have? We have Neymar here for the battle of 8th. We drop down the grid here and take a look at everybody else that's battling it out. What can Meanford do to Neymar? He's 7/10ths back. Two laps newer tires. Light lockup. Looks like Neymar's trying to warm up those harder compound tires. The looks is starting to get a little bit like it's starting to get towards the afternoon here. It's not as sunny as it was before at the Hungaroring here for this Tier 1 race.
Definitely does a little overcast, but not too much.
Go through, doesn't look like Meanford's really making any stride on him, but Ferrandi and Williams are catching Hoopalicious as we jump up here for 3rd and 4th. BRL Williams 7/10ths back from Hoopalicious with 10 lap newer tires. He wants 2nd place. He wants to get up there and he wants to try to do what he can to win this race at the Hungaroring. Here goes Williams, 3/10ths back. What can he do to Hoop as they come down the hill? This has been Williams' little favorite spot to make passes on drivers. Can he make it stick on the Red Bull driver as they go down the hill and then back up the hill? It's very interesting for drivers, you know, like you and myself, fans. You know, you watch, you know, the lines that we run, and then we watch the lines that the Tier 1 drivers run, and we just think, how is that possible? And it's definitely something interesting to see how these guys can do this with a whole entire grid, and you're just freight training through the whole entire track as they battle it out here at the Hungaroring.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting seeing how some of these faster guys take very different lines, whether they're on their own or with other drivers that they're following.
And now, mind you, for the viewers that are watching, these drivers are doing all of this with no line. So they are trusting based on the braking point of where the other drivers are braking at to make the moves here in this race. As BRL Williams tries it up on the inside, he doesn't make it work. So he's going to have to check up behind Hoopalicious. Pirandi has fallen back a second, which is clearly not going to help him here in this battle. It's like New Zealand Ryan. The Deer Hunter gets a 3-second time penalty, and New Zealand Ryan is catching up to BRL Williams, his teammate, which is not going to help because if New Zealand Ryan gets close enough, not only is he going to get a DRS, but it's going to help him pull away from Hoopalicious even more than what already, you know, is set in there, which is 3.3 seconds. It does not help him at all. Chandler said it's a new fast lap at a 16.8. He's sitting there in 12th going, you know what? Even though I'm not up in the top, I'm still going to set a fast lap and do what I can. F1 Roads giving a shout out to Phantom, saying, hola, Phantom.
How's it going, Rhodes?
As we see BRL Williams 5/10ths back, getting an amazing run. Rondi warming up his tires behind them. Here goes BRL Williams. What can he do? Hoopalicious gets a very good pull for 20 lap hold as BRL Neymar has left the session. We can get him back in here. As DRC Jared gets hitted. It's interesting, even though if Jared retires, what happened to Jared? Retired in the pits. Wow.
That's interesting.
was still in a very strong contention depending on, you know, how the race went. But we're going to jump back up to BRL Williams 5/10 back as he's trying to chase down Hoopalicious. Seems like Hoopalicious, even though his tires are 10 laps older, he definitely gets a much stronger pull out of the corners, you know, push out of the corners compared to the other drivers. We'll see Jared's car retire here into that downhill turn 3. Here goes Williams. Right along board with him. Down on the inside, he gets an amazing run. He sends it in deep, utilizes all the curve. Pulls off. Here goes Hoop. Canute Noob. I'm just going to check up BRL Williams, locking up a lot right in front of him. Definitely looks like Hoop's tire is falling off here. And Perandi's now within a second to Hoopalicious. We go around into sector 2. Hopefully we were able to get Neymar back into the race. I mean, he is fighting for points here. Hoopalicious is now falling 7/10 back. Those tires must be, you know, really hurting. You know, you got 5 laps left to go, and you already got 21 laps on those tires. But I will have to say, you know, in my opinion, driver of the day is definitely, you know, depending on if it finishes the way it is, Hoopalicious. I mean, he has started on the soft compound tires, put the car on pole, has managed to go all this way on those hard tires, 22 laps full on them, and still trickling, but still holding his own and not allowing Perandi to really catch up a whole lot, and he's still able to keep within a second to BRL Williams. We're going to drop down to BRL Neymar. He is still out. He got disconnected as GSR-X is going to make it around BRL Neymar. What a shame there. If he can get back in, this is definitely, he's still within points. Chandler said it's still 22 seconds back from him. Go through. The closest battle still is second and third. BRL Williams and Hoopalicious. Going into sector 3, can Hoopalicious get past BRL Williams again, or is he just going to check up right behind him? GSR-X gets a 3-second time penalty.
It would seem like that Neymar at least doesn't want to join back, just not being in the best of moods. Just typically understandable.
It is a shame. As they go through here, Hoopalicious 9/10 back from BRL Williams. But this, if Chandler pushes for the 3 seconds, he possibly could get points. I mean, he's only 19.4 seconds back, but if he pushes as hard as he can, with the fact that the AI is driving the car, you know, he could actually get past Neymar for points. I mean, he's down. It's already 18.8 and Chandler is pushing.
I'm sure Chandler still will get points either way, as Perandi gets another 3-second time penalty, which going to help Oz Formula.
And even ERS Ham Newton, I believe Ham Newton does have one or maybe one time penalty, but at the same time, I mean, you got 2 laps left to go as we start to see Hoopalicious. This is the first time we've seen it outside the 1 second gap between BRL Williams. He's not going to help his case out with those 24-lap old hard compound tires. Perandi with his 20-lap old hard compound tires. What is Hoopalicious' tires going to be? If this is the finishing order for the drivers, I'm definitely going to have to ask Hoopalicious what percent were those tires, because to me it looks like possibly like his tires, when you hear 24 laps, you're thinking, well, they're going to explode. I mean, as a driver, what's your thoughts going into this?
Honestly, I haven't done too much practice on the hards around here. I've been just doing mostly medium runs, getting used to those. So even hearing 24 laps on the hards, they easily have to be around like 60-70% already.
Not to mention, dirty air fighting, all the battling that he's had on those hard compound tires. Here he goes, 1.5 seconds back. And Pirani is now within a second. Looks like Pirani is possibly making a last-minute push as Hupalicious is down to 16% ERS, and same with Pirani. Both of these drivers is scrapping it out here at the last 2 laps. New Zealand Ryan, it's not a commanding lead, it's not a commanding race that he's had, but it's a race that he's kind of been in his own world. He didn't really have to fight anybody, didn't battle anybody like really hard, but still just enough to, push himself. His hand nearly gets a 3-second time penalty.
And speaking of time penalties, Bureau Williams needs a 3-second gap to Hupalicious, who is right behind him, at least by 1.9. So all he needs is 1 more second to hold off on his P1.
Wow.
Or, excuse me, P2.
Master Berserk, congratulations to him. I mean, he had a little bit of a fall towards the beginning of the race, and now he's back up to 7th place. Only 9.8 seconds back between him and Newton. Hupalicious, Pirani now 4 times back from Hupalicious. Is he going to make something happen at the end? This is the last lap of the race. As we go through, Pirani definitely on the back end of him. As he goes through, he is pushing as much as he possibly can to make something stick against Hupalicious. Hupalicious now 2.3 seconds. He is definitely going to have to push as hard as he can to not drop out of that 3-second gap of BRL Williams. Still 7/10 back. This is the closest battle we have on the track. Other than that, it's ERS Ham Newton and OS Formula. Can Pirani make something stick? 2.4 seconds. He is threading the needle of this 3-second buffer for him and BRL Williams. Congratulations to the winner, New Zealand Ryan, here at the Hungaroring. Hupalicious tries to go on the inside. Hoop to finish the second. BRL Williams 3rd. Pirani 4th. Looks like we have OS Formula jumps Pirani. Pirani's going to finish 5th. ERS Hamilton 6th. Master Berserk coming around the last corner. What can he do? Master Berserk crosses the line in 7th. Mean Fern finishes 8th. GSR Axe, he's going to slot in 9th. URL Neymar, of course, disconnected. What a shame there. But I will have to say congratulations to Chandler. Losing it completely, falling back, coming back. Now he's going to finish 11th. But he may slot up due to the disconnection and Deer Hunter. As we follow along, he's got 2 last corners there. Deer Hunter waiting to cross the line, and that completes BRL Tier 1 of the Hungaroring. Wow, what an amazing battle that we saw out of New Zealand Ryan just chilling out there as the game has given driver of the day to GSR Axe. Honestly, I'm going to say driver of the day, in my opinion, is Hupalicious. A driver who started on the softs against all adversity of every single other driver, mediums to hards, to be able to do that soft to hard strategy and still finish second is astonishing.
Yeah, I do give a shout out to Hoopalicious, especially sticking with those softs at the beginning and also continuing on the hards. So I would also have to give my driver of the day to him as well.
We wait for the final celebrations of the drivers here as New Zealand Ryan extends his championship lead against all the other drivers in Tier 1. Sad to see all the rest of the drivers. New Zealand Ryan, Hoopalicious, no penalty. Also, big shout out to Oz Formula finishing fourth. No penalties for him, while the rest of the drivers have other time penalties there. We will definitely try to get the rest of these drivers in to the booth to do the post-race interview. Let's try to get New Zealand Ryan invite to a party.
I've sent invites to all three of them already, so...
Oh, wow, okay, alright.
Already on it.
Thank you very much. I'm used to doing this by myself. New Zealand Ryan has joined the party. Your race winner, New Zealand Ryan. If you could check the box to include your audio, that would be amazing as we wait for the other two drivers, the Hoopalicious BRL Williams, to arrive. Hoopalicious is in the booth now. Please check the box to include your audio. We're just waiting on BRL Williams, and he is joined.
All right, I'm in here.
Okay, you have included your audio?
Yeah, that's for down the line, so I'm here.
Okay, alright. Alright, well, I'm going to let BRL Phantom take it off and start with the third place finisher, BRL Williams.
Alright, so BRL Williams, just kind of give us a race rundown on just some thoughts, especially going into the start of the racing, how some of the guys were starting on softs and most of the field started on mediums at the start.
I mean, I knew if we could just kind of run a line, we'd be able to just kind of hang with Hoop after a few laps because we did a practice session and I was not that far off of him after the first 3 or 4 laps. Ferrandi and Ryan fighting with each other, they just were bottling me up, honestly. And no offense to you two, but if you two weren't there, I'd have been all over him after about probably 4 or 5 laps. Just mega pace. I love this racetrack, always have. And just that close, P2 on track, that close to holding on to it with that one silly penalty. Just, oh my goodness. Yes!
And I'm assuming you're aware of the penalty situation with Ferrandi.
Yeah, I had Deer Hunter do it when he got when Jared and he had contact. He had to go in the pits. I had him do a quick rundown of what everybody had. He told me that you two had 2 warnings each, and Ferrandi had basically the same situation as me, 1 penalty and 2 warnings. Looks like he got another one, I didn't, but yeah, I knew the situation, and I was bound and determined to try and pull that gap on Hoop to get P2. I wanted that so bad. I'm exhausted. That was a 10-tenths drive. Jesus
Definitely
Christ.
a big congrats on the good old podium.
Finally.
Yes, congratulations on the P3 finish. Definitely looked very tough. Definitely picking, where you wanted to try to make your moves. We, as we saw in the stream, there was a lot of places where you wanted to make a move, but you really couldn't. Hungaroring, it's definitely one of those really hard tracks where you can't, it's usually 1 or 2 corners, and if you can't get it at that corner, the chances of you getting past someone is almost impossible. As we slot now up to the second place finisher, Hoopalicious, who both myself and BRL Phantom would like to give a shout out and give driver of the day for, even though the game gave it to someone else. We're going to give you driver of the day, mostly due to the fact that you were the only soft tire starter, and you managed to make it work to finish second, even though Williams had a penalty. Let us know, what were your thoughts going in? Because, soft tires, Hungaroring. Not a whole lot of people think about starting on softs here.
Yeah. At the end of the race, it really wasn't the fastest strategy, but I think it actually helped me because I only picked the soft tire because I've done a couple races here, and usually the winner uses the softs. But with Ryan, he's just, I don't know, too fast for me, I guess. But yeah, I tried to pull off the gap at the beginning because I am on the softs and it's going to be a little bit faster for a couple laps, and it actually worked. But then it started to degrade and start to be slow.
Well, yeah, we were asking ourselves in the booth, and we wanted to ask you when it came to the, if you got on the podium, was what percent were your tires? Because, for people like myself and Fada, when we hear 25 lap old hard compound tires, it's like, so are they going to explode? Are we going to see Oopalicious go into a wall? What are we going to see? Or were your tires pretty much solid towards the end?
If you're talking about my hards, I think they're pretty okay. I think they're in the 50s or 60s. I don't think the hards wear that much at this track.
Okay.
I think they're pretty good here. And then I think the softs are around 60 or something. So I could have gone a lot longer, but they're just almost more than a second slower. So I had to pit.
Of course. And that brings us to our overall race winner and reigning champion and championship leader. I don't know what other title you would like, New Zealand Ryan, but congratulations on the win in the Hungaroring. Talk us through the race. Congratulations. I don't know really. It doesn't seem whatever race that you do. It seems like you just kind of just race your own race and just somehow you end up in first. Talk us through it.
No, it was pretty challenging. The start was quite sweaty. Obviously, I had the pace on Perondi fairly early on, which was nice. But then he pitted early, which I was surprised about. So I just assumed that Hoop was going to get in front of me after the stop, so I decided to go long. Because I'm going to need a tyre advantage to pass him, because you can't pass around here. So once I got past him, it was pretty chill.
Yeah, because watching you race around the track, it's interesting because we saw that you had definitely the tire strategy, the stronger tire against Hoop. It was just you were just kind of sitting back there waiting for your movement, but it wasn't like you really pulled out a huge gap. Were you at least a little worried in qualifying that someone else was going to throw on more softs and try to at least kind of push you back down the order towards the mid pack during qualifying?
Well, I thought everyone would be going on softs, that's why I went on softs at the end, but then I saw I was still, third or fourth on the medium, so I didn't set the time. I was I'll just shoot myself in the foot by going on the softs, so yeah, worked out.
Well, congratulations to your win at the Hungaroring. BRL fan, do you have anything for our race winner, New Zealand Ryan?
Nothing else for Ryan, no.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. New Zealand Ryan wins at the Hungaroring, followed by Hoopalicious in second and BRL Williams on the podium, which I'm sure there's going to be a massive party wherever, Williams lives. I'd just like to say